Hi everyone, my name is Michelle. I wanted to make a quick video for you with some keys to creating a beautiful and safe and great space for your hermit crabs to live in. So the first thing you want to do is be sure that your tank is big enough. So in my 40-gallon aquarium, that's this right here, I have 3 hermit crabs. My 3 hermit crabs are about the size of a $50. So here's the shells that they're typically in, just for point of reference. And I have 2 more who are currently at school, so when I have all 5 of them together, I just purchased a 75-gallon aquarium. So you definitely need a big enough space. Do not buy those crappy little 10-gallon aquariums that everybody says are the best thing for hermit crabs. Absolutely not. Your hermit crab needs enough space, especially since he'll be with crabby friends, because they can be become depressed if they are alone. So you need at least 3 hermit crabs to be together, to be safe and happy and to not become depressed and lead a good, happy life. So with that said, since you'll have at least 3 hermit crabs, you'll need a big space for them. So once they get bigger, your space will have to become bigger as well. I started out with a 20-gallon. That quickly became too small for my hermit crabs, went to the 40-gallon, and now that I have 2 more with the 5 hermit crabs, I need a gallon tank that is at least 75 gallons. The bigger the better. So if you're going to have hermit crabs and you're going to have them for a long period of time, I would say just go ahead and get a 75-gallon in the first place. That way you're not buying tank after tank after tank. So one, you want a big enough space for your crabbies to be in. So you can see my crabbies have this 40-gallon space. It is 36 inches long, 18 inches wide, about 15 inches high. They've got things to climb on. So here's a little basket with a ladder leading to a shelf. They've got stuff to hide behind. They have 2 sets of water dishes. There's a water dish for salt water, a water dish for plain dechlorinated water. Do be sure to dechlorinate your salt water too before you give it to your hermit crabs. Speaking of dishes, water should be changed at least daily. If they are in the molting process, as in they're getting ready to molt, they will be drinking a lot more water. So the water will become sandy very quickly. You always want to be sure your crabbies have enough fresh, good water. So I change mine at least daily, and food as well. So you want to be sure that you're giving them good hermit crab food, not the crappy kind that you can get at the pet store, like that pellety stuff. Don't go with that. My #1 resource for hermit crab things is the Hermit Crab Patch. Their website is hermitcrabpatch.com. They are the most knowledgeable, extensive site and people that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. So check them out. Okay, so we want 2 water dishes at least. We want nice big crabitat. We also need to be sure that we're keeping it warm enough. So I have 3 heating pads stuck to the side of this 40-gallon. We want the temperature to be between 70 and 80 degrees. We also want the humidity to be about that too, between 70 and 80%. So this is the humidifier that I use for them. Doesn't do anything into the air. It just pumps in nice humid air, not like a fogger, you know, like for frogs or whatever. Not that. It just pumps in nice humid air for the crabbies. So my humidity right now is at 90%, and the temperature is 76%. So since it's a little high, that's why I have a bit of that fogging on the side. So something else that you want to be sure that you have, this mesh lid. Don't want the glass lid. Gotta be sure that there's some airflow in there. So this mesh lid or screen. And then I have some plastic panels that I got from the Hermit Crab Patch, which can also aid in making it more humid or less humid depending on what your humidity levels are at. This towel is on top to maintain some of that heat and humidity for them. We live in Wisconsin, so Right now the weather's starting to get a little chilly outside, and it's a little chilly in this space that they're in too. So that will all change once I get my beautiful new 75-gallon aquarium though. So, okay, so we talked about nice big space, we talked about food and water, we talked about heat and humidity. Other thing, shells. See how they're all natural shells? Do not, please do not give your hermit crab those crappy painted shells that you see at the pet stores. They are horrible. Your hermit crab wants to be in a natural shell. I have gotten 4 hermit crabs from people who can't care for them anymore, who I take into my care, and they are all in those crappy painted shells. You know what happens when I put them in my great crabitat? They immediately change out of those crappy painted shells into a natural shell. Hermit crabs do not want to be in those painted shells. They're typically too small for them. They're usually the only choice they have because many people buy them from horrible places like pet stores. So they're typically the only choice they have, and as soon as they have an option to get out of it and get into a natural shell, they do. Hermit Crab Patch has great natural shells online. If you live in a tropical climate like Florida, probably even parts of Georgia, anywhere along the coast, you will be able to find beautiful natural shells easily. For us, since we live in Wisconsin, we don't have access to these types of things very easily. So I do need to order them online. But please, please, please get rid of those crummy painted shells. Another thing, light. Your hermit crab will appreciate your hermit crabs, because you will have at least 3 little crabby friends, will appreciate some type of light. They do like a pretty close to natural lighting schedule as you can get. So I only turn the light on when it gets super dark outside, turn it off in the morning so they can use the natural sunlight that comes in up here to regulate their sleeping and eating patterns. Okay, finally, substrate. I have at least 8 inches of substrate from the bottom here to the tippy top. Now, Jeremy is molting right now. Prudence is getting ready to molt. Harrison's up above, but we got some different variations of depths of sand here because they're digging around and making their little crabby tunnels to molt. You need at least 8 inches for the larger crabs. The Hermit Crab Patch website has a wonderful resource for how deep your sand should be depending on the size of crabs you have. So like I said, right now, my crabs are between the medium and large size. So I have at least 8 inches from the bottom of the crabitat here until that top level. And that is needed because they need to, when they molt, get deep enough and have the ability to create an air hole for themselves, a little pocket of air, so when they're molting under there that they have enough air to breathe. And since you're going to have at least 3 crabby friends in your crabitat, you're also going to need enough space for each crabitat to molt. So they may molt at the same time, like Jeremy is under right now. Prudence has been under for a couple days, but she's been coming up and going back under again, so she's kind of undecided right now. However, she does have the ability to molt at the same time as Jeremy, as does Harrison, because of how much sand there is within this area. So they can each have their own little private area when they molt. I think that is about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was informative for you. I can't tell you how long it took me to figure out the best setup for my crabs, and I was so thankful when I found Tammy and Kirk at the Hermit Crab Patch because they truly opened my eyes as far as what is actually needed for good, happy crabbies, and what their crabitat needs to look like in order to maintain that. So they are a wonderful resource. They're very friendly. They have all kinds of supplies for you. And I hope this clears up any misconceptions too. Please don't put them in those crappy little plastic things. Please don't put them in a tank that only has 2 inches of play sand in it. You need good quality substrate, which the Hermit Crab Patch also sells. And if you don't buy it through them, they have resources online for you to find out where to get a good quality substrate. That's it. Thanks. Bye-bye.